What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. It's been a bit since the last part, so let's do a little recap. Last time, we saw what happened when the humans and the Saiyans all teamed up to fight Frieza. Thanks to Vegeta suggesting it, everyone went to his planet to try and face him. After a lot of training, of course. They would rather be safe than sorry, so they were sure that the training beforehand would help them, although they did leave a bit early, making the fight tougher than it would have been. Thankfully, due to some great synergy and teamwork, our heroes were able to barely come out victorious, defeating Frieza, King Cold, and pretty much the entire army with them. This is where we'll pick up this time. For this part, let's set a like goal of 3,000 likes. Once we hit that, I'll continue with another part to the series. Anyways, let's pick up from here. It was a tough fought battle, but everyone's glad that they pulled through. Not only did they stop the tyrant Frieza, but they were able to test their powers in the process. Not to mention, this battle will benefit them in the future. It definitely was a risky maneuver, but it was worth it in the end. All in all, the universe is a better place now that Frieza's gone, and our heroes are going to take this experience as a lesson. Now is the easy part, go home and heal. Before they leave, Bulma would probably try and scrounge up some Frieza Force technology. It would be pretty interesting to study back on Earth. Although a lot of the place is already destroyed, but she's able to find some pretty interesting things. Scouters, healing technology, etc. The healing pods are going to be especially useful. Vegeta's very familiar with them, and although they're much slower than Senzu beans aren't plentiful, while these can be used over and over. They would have to be adapted for humans, and in Piccolo's case Namekians, but these machines have some great potential, not only for helping out the fighters, but hey, the space age technology would really help on Earth. Imagine Caps Corp mass producing these. Using what she has on the ship, and what she finds around the base, Bulma's actually able to install some healing pods into the ship, so that they won't have to wait until they're home to actually heal up. They could be placed in the healing pods on the ride back, and by the time everyone arrives on Earth, they'll be back to normal. And as you'd probably expect from the whole scenario that this what if is covering, anyone involved in this battle will benefit in terms of power. Piccolo doesn't get zenkais obviously, but he would still get stronger from this battle, at least a little bit. As for the humans and Saiyans, they do get zenkais, in this scenario at least. And by healing up back to full health, everyone ends up seeing a really good increase in power. By the time everyone's back on Earth, they're healed and stronger. It's a win-win. But after Frieza, what's happening next? Obviously there won't be any King Cold or Mecha Frieza arriving on Earth because they're both dead. The Frieza Force has been completely disintegrated, so there's none of that. One other surprising thing that doesn't occur is that there's no time traveler, which I'll get more into later, and there's a reason that there's no need for that. Not Trunks or anyone for that matter. Speaking of Trunks though, I feel that in this scenario, Goten would probably be born earlier since Goku's back on Earth earlier, and afterwards Trunks would be born. No one's focused on intense training because there's no real need for that. They're not aware of any impending threat like they were normally. Of course though, Goku does get the heart virus. In case you're new to the channel, I usually like to assume that Goku got the heart virus due to how he lived as a kid, rather than going to Yardrat. So even though he didn't go to Yardrat here, he still would contract it due to him living that animalistic lifestyle when he was a child. And that's bad news for him. However, there is a way around it here. Remember how I said not everyone's focused on training because it seems so peaceful now? Well, that peacetime actually does help here. Since everyone had so much free time, each fighter decided to collect a Dragon Ball to protect, just in case they'll ever need them. They know that they'll probably need to summon Shenron in the future, so consider this a precaution. And it's good that they took this precaution because now they actually do need the Dragon Balls. Because they're going to wish for Shenron to heal Goku. We know Shenron can't revive people that died of natural causes, but nothing says he can't cure diseases. If you look in Dragon Ball Super, we even see Shenron cure a disease there. Although it's a much more minor one with Pan, but still, Gohan was concerned enough to ask Shenron to heal it. So maybe it was pretty serious, but regardless of the severity of the disease, Shenron was shown to actually heal it. And even if he can't cure Goku here, they could just ask for medicine. That shouldn't be a hard task for Shenron. Also, in case you're wondering why they didn't do this originally, well, I always assumed that the heart virus is so sudden that they didn't have any time to get the Dragon Balls. But here they're actually prepared, and even though it does hit suddenly and it gets bad pretty quick, they're able to summon Shenron in the nick of time. It's really funny how many loopholes you could use. He can't revive someone that died of natural causes, but what if he cured that natural cause before they died? Here we are scamming dragons. Thankfully that means a huge disaster was avoided. Although it does pose some issues because now the Dragon Balls are inactive, and soon after, the androids do attack. It's androids 17 and 18 this time, no 19 and 20. Of course here, no one knew about the androids arriving. They just unexpectedly attack a city and the fighters go to see what's happening. And even with a slightly bigger and stronger group, it's going to be an issue. Plus there is a huge downside, and that's the fact that no one knows what Super Saiyan is yet. Goku never accesses it, nor did Vegeta or Gohan. So even with everyone else stronger here, Goku and Vegeta are actually weaker than normal. But even if they had Super Saiyan, it wouldn't really matter, because the androids are too strong regardless. Luckily, with so many people there, they're able to come up with a tactic to escape. Although they only got lucky this time, they're not sure if that's going to work a second time. So they're going to retreat for as long as possible until they're strong enough to actually defeat the androids. They're not going to get any leads about Jiro or his lab. 17 and 18 have already killed him, so it's not like they even know who created them besides it was someone from the Red Ribbon Army, so they don't have much info about these two. Even worse, they did notice something odd about the androids. As I mentioned during their first encounter, they wanted to find a way to escape. Thankfully, Piccolo, Tenshinhan, and Krillin were able to come up with a plan. Krillin and Ten blinded the android, as Piccolo quickly launched a Hellzone grenade to create a smokescreen, allowing everyone to get out of there but not dealing much damage to the androids. But as they flew away, they looked back at the androids to see what they were doing. Their blindness started to wear off, and instead of trying to chase the fighters, it seems like they just gave up. Piccolo has very big ears so he can listen closely from far away, and he heard 17 say something interesting to 18. He told her before they leave, make sure to grab 16's pod, and this of course sets off alarms for everyone. They're not too sure what it means, but they can only infer that it means that there's another android named 16. And yes, there actually is. When 17 and 18 escaped Jiro's lab, they grabbed the pod for 16. Although they haven't activated him yet because they didn't see any need. However, they do have 16's pod with them, and they're bringing it around wherever they go. Everyone finds safety for the time being. Some of them even head to the lookout because that does seem like a safe spot. And also Goku had the great idea of using the time chamber. Goku theorizes if they take turns going into the time chamber, they could definitely get strong enough to actually defeat the androids. The first two people to actually go in are Tenshinhan and Yamcha. Ten is one of the stronger people here, and he works pretty well with Yamcha, so that's why the two of them go in together. In the meantime though, Piccolo learned something interesting from Kami. Kami suggests that the two of them merge together. If they do, it'll create a being strong enough to possibly help defeat the androids. Piccolo won't even need to go in the time chamber, but that means no more Dragon Balls, although Shenron isn't even active now anyways because they just used them. It's not like they really had a choice either way, they'll just worry about that later. This revelation does come as a shock to everyone, and Piccolo's hesitant but he ends up accepting it. If it makes him stronger, it will be worth it. Everyone looks on as Kami and Piccolo merge into one, and his strength after the fusion is pretty surprising. They expected him to be strong, but not this strong. He actually feels confident that he could take on at least one of the androids, maybe two of them at once. The group's concerned about him, but he tells them that it'll be okay. At the very least, he could hold them off so they don't destroy anything. And even if he isn't strong enough to defeat them, he's going to be able to escape pretty easily now. He'll basically act as bait for the time being, making sure that everyone on the lookout is safe, as well as whatever cities they're planning to attack next. Some of the fighters go into healing pods to heal, as Piccolo goes back to the surface to face the androids. It's not too tough to find them, and they're surprised to see him, well, at least just him alone. They're wondering what's going through Piccolo's head where he thinks he could defeat them alone. He doesn't have any backup at all. 17 offers to face him first, and the two begin their fight. Immediately it becomes clear that Piccolo's a lot stronger than before. Although Piccolo doesn't have nail fuse within him in this scenario, he's still stronger from the get-go, so once he does fuse with Kami, I feel he'll at least be around where he was in canon, meaning he would be even with 17. Although, there is something that Piccolo has here that he didn't have in canon. Kaioken. 17's infinite energy may be an issue, but Piccolo's going to even the playing field by going into Kaioken times 2, giving him a great advantage over 17. And the thing is now, he could use Kaioken times 2 relatively easily, he's had more than enough practice with it. And it's the lowest level of Kaioken, so it's not too big of a deal. 18 jumps in to help as Piccolo fends off the two androids at once. This new Piccolo may be an issue, so 18 falls back for a bit, activating android 16. Piccolo, 17, and 18 look on as 16 is awoken, a massive and menacing looking android. He immediately recognizes Piccolo as a threat, and joins the other two androids in their battle. Piccolo braces himself to fight with 16, briefly flaring up into Kaioken times 4 to hit 17 with a powerful attack. He tries to launch one at 18 as well, but 16 defends against it. At least he did some good damage to 17 though. Piccolo is now starting to lose ground. He's about to crank up Kaioken even higher, but he's surprised by 3 more fighters joining in the fight. As some of the first to be healed after their fight with the androids, Goku, Chi-Chi, and Gohan intervene. After that battle with the androids before, they did get noticeably stronger. It's not going to be a lot, but now that 17 has been weakened by Piccolo, and since the 3 of them got stronger, they feel that maybe, combined together, they could hold off 17 at the very least, helping Piccolo in the process. 17 struggles to get up as 18 jumps in his defense, ready to face the Sun family. As you'd probably expect for these 3, they have perfect synergy when fighting. 18's the weakest android here and she has taken some damage, although it isn't too much. I feel with the 3 of them combined, they're definitely not going to be able to defeat her, but now they're strong enough to at least hold her off. 17 eventually does get up, joining his sister in the fight. And although he has been heavily weakened, this turns the tides a lot. But these 3 fighters keep persisting. As long as they can hold them off long enough, other fighters will come in once they're healed. They're expecting backup from Vegeta, Roshi, and Krillin soon. But things are getting tougher. Piccolo is losing ground as he's facing 16 and the other 2 androids at once. While the twins also have some of their focus on Goku, Chi-Chi, and Gohan. Chi-Chi and Goku end up injured, while 18 and 17 team up on Gohan. Gohan has a really hard time defending against them. Despite having grown a lot stronger, he still is a kid, and he's nowhere near close enough to the strongest person in the group. He's fending off 2 androids alone, as Piccolo tries to hold 16 off since he's much stronger than the other 2. Gohan begins losing ground, getting beat up more and more. He watches Piccolo lose ground too, as Goku and Chi-Chi lay injured nearby. If Gohan can't hold him off, everyone will die. But suddenly, something snaps within him. They've seen Gohan's anger before, but not like this. Piccolo even looks over, noticing that his ki is rising, and suddenly a bright golden light fills the area, strong enough that even the 2 androids are knocked back from it. 16 even looks over concerned as well. Piccolo, Goku, and Chi-Chi are just as confused. The light dissipates, and behind it they see Gohan with golden hair now, unsure of what just happened to him. Rather than looking scared and concerned like before, he has a confident and stern look on his face. The 2 androids don't know what just happened, but they launch at Gohan ready to attack. 18 jumps at him first, trying to land a direct punch, but Gohan catches it, and with his other hand, he launches a blast that flings 18 far away. 17 stops midair, surprised to see what just happened, and he actually looks scared now. Out of fear, he stumbles backwards, as Gohan gives him a death stare. Thanks to Piccolo before, 17 is already on his last legs. As he and Gohan stare each other down, Gohan suddenly disappears and reappears in front of 17, punching him in the stomach as his fist goes directly through the android. 18 rockets back towards the area from far away, and Piccolo notices this. 16 yells for 18 to watch out, as 16 tries to block Gohan from attacking her. But instead, Piccolo unhinges his jaw and launches a blast from his mouth, briefly going into Kaioken and killing 18 instantly. Not too long after, Vegeta, Roshi, and Krillin do arrive at the battle, having sensed that something happened but not too sure what occurred. Vegeta sees it and is immediately stunned, knowing exactly what Gohan just did. Roshi and Krillin rush over to help Goku and Chi-Chi, as Piccolo and Gohan stand together. 16 knows he won't make it out of this, so he prepares to blow himself up. But before he could even do that, Piccolo and Gohan immediately launch a blast together, with Piccolo and Kaioken times 10. This is enough to destroy 16 right away, and is actually kinda overkill. The androids have been defeated, and Gohan has some weird new form now. He briefly retains this transformation, but drops out of it not too long after, seeming exhausted. But Vegeta has some more info, saying that this may be Super Saiyan. He can't believe that it's real, not to mention it's a kid that accesses it, who's not even a full Saiyan. But if Gohan can get it, that also means Vegeta and Goku should be able to as well. And over the next few years, they're gonna try and work towards this. Obviously Tenshinhan and Yamcha were still in the time chamber, and they come out after everything's already said and done. They're much stronger than before, although they're bummed to have missed the battle. And before we wrap up the Android saga, there is one thing I want to mention. There's no future Cell because there's no time traveler in the first place. But Jiro's lab was never found in this scenario, which means present Cell is still in there. He's not going to even awaken until way further down the line, but that is something to remember. But now with that out of the way, it looks like this is the end of the Android saga, and now we head into another time skip. Before we do so, let's do a little power scale. Power levels are now irrelevant at this point, so we're just going to have to scale based on who's stronger than who. Now with Super Saiyan, Gohan is the strongest of the group. Behind him would be Tenshinhan. After all his training in the time chamber, he's seen some great growth, and he actually did surpass Piccolo in terms of power, and Piccolo's number 3 here. Surprisingly enough, behind Piccolo is Yamcha. That training with Tenshinhan really did help him. He's not going to be a joke or anything in this scenario. Behind Yamcha is Goku, followed by Roshi, Vegeta, and Chi-Chi. Goku and Vegeta are trying to act as Super Saiyan for themselves, although it's going to take some time before they get it, so that's why they rank here. That means Krillin is the weakest of the group, but he does have some tricks that he's working on, so he should be able to catch up to everyone else soon enough. Sometime over this time skip, Goku and Vegeta would learn how to access Super Saiyan, with Gohan also getting a better control of it and being able to use it at will. The Saiyans train together, trying to work with that. The time chamber didn't really get any use in this saga. Only 2 people ever went in, but Piccolo decides he's actually pretty interested in using it. Surprisingly enough, he does find a partner that wants to use it with him, that being Roshi. While everyone else may have an issue with aging, these 2 really don't, so it'd be very beneficial for them to actually use it, and they could pretty much exploit it all they want. They're not going to be in the time chamber forever, but occasionally they will go in, at least for a few months at a time. Oddly enough, the 2 form an unlikely bond. Who would have expected Roshi and Piccolo to be friends of all people? But now they are, sharing wisdom with each other. The 2 are both very smart and technical, so not only do they grow in strength, but abilities and smarts as well. All this training would actually cause Roshi and Piccolo to soar past where Tenshinhan is, possibly even surpassing Gohan in terms of power. And with Goku and Vegeta accessing Super Saiyan, they're just below Gohan now. But as I mentioned, the other humans aren't just going to fall behind. They have their own techniques. Chi-Chi is still very motivated to fight and is training with Goku and Gohan a lot, which will be very helpful for her. Yamcha's still pretty motivated too. And as for Krillin, I mentioned that he does have a new idea. After all of Roshi's training, Krillin decides to consult him about it. He may have a new evolution of power in mind, a possible new technique that'll really help Krillin in terms of power. And not just that, but next time, we'll be introducing some new fighters as well. But we're going to save that for the next part. This is where we'll leave off for now. So, what do you think Krillin's idea is? What do you think will happen with everyone's training, and what will go down in the next part and beyond? Leave any thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of this series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.